Okay, welcome to the third part of your alginate video instruction. So I just took the lower because the upper they gag on usually. My tray's a mess, all right? So I want to show you why you usually have two spatulas, although we don't have that luxury here, especially if you're working on a real person, because cross-contamination and the spatulas have to be sterilized, okay? Full PPE. Now this is the easiest cleanup. When you have a spatula and you have another one, you just scrape it. Now, when you guys have a helper in your operatory, as soon as this sets, don't just stand there. Even if doctor's taking the alginate, sometimes he likes you to mix it and he'll take it or she'll take it. Start cleaning your bowls. Clean up. I think that's one of the things I don't like about alginates is they're so messy. No, get it all cleaned up. Now, remember the three scoops. I got my water, right? I've tried it in. Now, with the upper, you have to be comfortable when you take it. If you can't see, that's a problem. You have to be able to see beyond the last tooth. On the upper, if you remember, it's called tuberosity, beyond the last tooth. Okay, so patients have a tendency to choke or gag. If that's the case, what you're going to do is after you place it, you're going to bring your arm around their head and bring them forward, right? If they say they always throw up during this, it does happen. Just make sure you have a garbage can next to you, okay? But I make sure that that doesn't happen, and I'll show you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pour my water in my bowl of 3. I'm going to incorporate it like I showed you first. The reason for that too is so the powder doesn't go everywhere. Okay, so get it all in there. Now, I forgot to tell you for the other one, the reason these bowls are squishable is so you can hang on to it and then just back and forth. Hold it, squeeze it. Okay, get all those bubbles out of there. Nice and smooth consistency. Now remember I said grab as much as you can. You didn't see me go back in the bowl, okay? So I'm going to grab as much as I can. The upper is easier to fill. So for the upper, you just take it and load it in. Now, excuse me, the reason patients gag is because it's overfilled. So I have a gag reflex. Well, I don't want you to throw up. So I'm just going to bring the posterior or the back up a little bit because it'll flow back there. Okay, like that. So instead of being level, it's like this. Okay, there's more up front than in the back. Now, to place the upper, okay, you want to come back. You're watching those back teeth. That's why it gets when you guys can't see, all right? Because in a real mouth, you have lips, you have cheeks, and all of that. So I'm going to come back. Now, you're going to scratch the front teeth unless, I'm going to see if I can't bring this up here. Probably going to make a mess. Ah! Okay, so where are you? Okay. I'm not feeling good about this. So when you watch those front teeth, you have to place it and bring it up. That's guaranteed to not scratch. So it's not so much, I don't know if I got that. It's not so much about the back teeth as much as it is the front. A lot of pass-offs don't happen because they scratch the front teeth. You can't scratch the tray. If you do, you're losing the whole facial, which is the front of the tooth. Again, I want to make sure I get the tuberosity on this, which is beyond the last tooth. And I hold it and we wait. This tray here, when you look at your tray, you're going to have a divot. That divot is for between 8 and 9. You don't want this part off to either side. It's interesting because when I've done it before, and when doctor looks at it, he's like, it's not midline. This has to be midline. And I'm saying that because mine looks right now like it's a little off to the right. So what can happen, you think, it's not going to matter, I'm going to pour it up. It's so crazy because it does. It throws the bite off. It makes it look like the arch is that way when it's actually straight. And so you want to make sure that this is at your midline. And we know our midline's between 8 and 9 and 24 and 25. All right. Good. Okay. And again, I have my lower in my sandwich bag. It's wrapped in my wet towel. I have my lab case pan. Normally in your lab case pan, and for in class 2, you're gonna see there's gonna be a little form, and you're gonna put it on the lab case pan because we don't wanna get anybody's mixed up. And you see I'm holding it. Please don't let go. And I made a mess again. Please make sure your patients are cleaned up before they leave. This literally peels off. You also are going to have to clean up your operatories. It gets all over the floor. Things that happen here happen in real life too. So you just want to make sure that you clean up your mess and clean up your patient. You never ever want to take this out too soon. It's messy. I've had patients twice grab it and pull it out. I don't help them clean up because there's no way you can get it out. Send them to the bathroom with floss and a toothbrush, but it is so messy. So it sounds mean, but even if they're gagging, choking, throwing up, you're holding it, you have their head here, they're over the garbage can and they're getting sick, okay? Do not let go of this until it is set up. And don't take it out too early either. If you take it out too early, it's going to tear. You're going to have to retake it. It's better just to tell the patient, hang in there. I apologize. During the winter months, it does take a little longer for our materials to set up. But I want a good impression the first time. So we're just going to be patient with this. Okay. And it is cold in here today. Interesting. Okay. But I think it's good. Now, the upper. You're going to bring your fingers, remember before we had it here, so when we hit the upper, here you're going to hold this tab here with the 2 fingers and protect that lower. There's been times when I've brought it down and I hurt my fingers on their teeth, but it's better than bumping their teeth, okay? So for the upper, you're just going to bring it in and bring it out, okay? Now, your teacher, shame on her, she should have put wax on this back side. If you see, I did not get beyond the last tooth, okay? Which is the tuberosity. I did here, I did fine, okay? I have got my buccal fold, which is on the sides, and I got my frenum, which is in the front. I would use this because what I missed is that wisdom tooth, and we won't do an implant for wisdom teeth anyways, okay? But I should have placed wax back there, right? Now, I'm gonna take my wet paper towel right away and wrap it, put it in the same bag as my lower, okay, and then it goes into my case pan. It's in my case pan, okay? This is going to come back. Don't put it on your dirty tray. Just bring it back, and we're gonna set it over there on that counter, okay? Now we're gonna learn how to pour up models, but first we gotta clean up our mess. Sorry. First we have to clean up our mess. Please, please don't leave a mess for others. So, another paper towel, because these bowls are spitty. Okay. Where's the calcicide spray? 1 second, guys. So you're going to understand, and it's going to make more sense when you bring it back here. If you're sending this out to a lab to pour up, you're going to bring them back, take off the paper towel, and just spray it with calcicide. Okay, wrap it back up. You're going to do this with bite registrations, everything. You do not want your lab to deal with these microorganisms, pathogens, germs, right? Keep them safe. Okay, rewrap it. And then what I would do is fill out the lab sheet for doctor. Like, let's say we're doing a temporary partial. It's called a flipper. I would write that down. I'd write the shade that I wanted. Doctor would sign it. And then the lab sheet goes right on here, right? And then it gets put by the door. And when the lab comes, they take the case pan and everything with them. Now, again, a mess, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to clean our spatula. Please remember, real person, right? Real person. Try to get this out of here. Okay. Now, you're going to take your bowl. Remember what sinks you can use. The grinders are at all the sinks you can use for this. So what we're going to do is come over to the sink. There's going to be a Tupperware container right here. And what you're going to do is put your, you can put your spatulas in there if you don't have time to clean them. Do not take this strainer out. I speak from experience. The easiest thing is paper towels. All right, so what you're gonna do, and sometimes you guys help each other, which is really nice, and you'll have a stack of these to do, but you don't want patients to see any white. So make sure you get all the alginate off. Just scrub them. I'm trying to put it up higher so you can see. These get over by the sterilizer. These get bad, labeled, and sterilized. The bowls, however, okay, same thing. Wipe it out with the paper towel. It's quite a process, but once you do 1,000,000 of these, please just remember, in a real practice, people don't want to clean up your mess. If you do not have time to get to your alginate bowl, you have to put water in it. Put water in it like this and this. Put them in each other and just let them sit in the sink, right? If you don't and the alginate dries in there, it's really hard to get out. And again, no one wants to clean up your mess. So now those are clean, but we can't sterilize them, right? Because they're plastic. So now what you're going to do, and remember, Cavicide's better to stay wet, because everybody's wondering why I had spray Cavicide. Now you know. Spray the bowls. Dry them somewhat. Leave them a little wet if you don't mind, please. Okay. And then put them away. Spatulas, like I said, make sure they're clean. Take them over. Yes, they can be ran through the ultrasonic as well. They don't have to be because they're clean enough. Your sink, clean out your sink, clean out your alginate. Right? But your cleanup is always done in the back after your patient has left. All right. Good job, guys.